If we're all gonna die anyway, then why pick up a book? Why read anything? For that matter, why do anything at all? In today's video, I wanted to talk about my personal reasons for why I love reading and why it's always been a part of my life. And I would love to hear your reasons as well. I feel like it's really interesting hearing the reasons for which people choose to read, and also the reasons for why they're not readers. So if you personally don't consider yourself a reader, why does reading not particularly appeal to you? I think one of the main reasons why I personally really like to read is because I really like the ways in which people can manipulate words in order to convey certain ideas. Me personally, growing up, I was never good at expressing myself, and oftentimes I would find that words would fail me and I would just fail to speak. I'm not sure if it comes across on camera, but growing up, I was very quiet, I was very shy. And honestly, I am still quiet and shy. But I've learned how to come out of my shell a bit, and it also depends on the circumstance. For example, when I'm speaking to my phone, words tend to flow easily because it's almost like I'm speaking to myself. But if there was a person in front of me, I think I would struggle a lot more. And because I've always had difficulties with expressing myself, I was drawn to mediums in which people express their innermost thoughts in very creative ways. Writing is one of those methods in which people can do that. And I've always just been, I guess, enchanted by that. My second reason for why I really like to read is because it allows me to escape. Reading is a form of escapism. When you're really into a book, you don't feel time passing. It's almost like time doesn't exist. And I think especially for very anxious individuals, you're always so hyper aware of time passing. And so any activity that pulls you out of that is just so appealing. And for me, reading is one of those activities in which time ceases to exist and I can just be fully immersed in whatever I'm reading. So it is a really big stress reliever for me. My third reason for why I really like to read is because ever since I was younger, I felt like the idea that I was confined to one perspective for the rest of my life was a very sad thought. The fact that I would never get to experience the world through the lens of another individual. Regardless of how hard I tried, regardless of how good we were able to communicate how we lived our lives, I would never actually experience what it's like to be another person. And through books, you're able to live out many different lives. And of course, it's not the same as if you were actually that individual or a different individual, but I feel like it's close enough. I do like that I have the ability to experience life through various different perspectives through books. You can exist in different time periods, be a completely different individual under very different circumstances. And that's pretty cool in my opinion. In a way, if we all fully understood the experiences of other individuals, what would be the point of reading or writing or fiction writing? Because it wouldn't tell you anything new if we all lived out the same lives. Because there's a certain level of misunderstanding between individuals and their life experiences that gives way to the manifestation of all of these very creative ways in which people try to make other individuals, their audience, understand what their characters are going through. And that in itself is something very beautiful. Another reason why I really like to read is because it helps me better understand myself. There's many instances in which I come across a character and I'm surprised that I see myself in them. I'm surprised that I'm able to relate to them so much and to the ways in which they think. When you're so inside your head, you can be blind to so many different things. And sometimes when I see similar circumstances within a book or similar thoughts within a book, through the lens of a different character, I'm able to be more self-critical and really try to understand why I do the things I do. I've learned countless lessons through different characters that upon picking up the book, I would have never dreamed that I would have come to these realizations. And that alone is reason enough for me to love to read, because I'm able to discover myself through reading. And the idea of self-discovery is a funny one. You've been with yourself your whole entire life. What do you mean you don't really understand yourself? But I think it would do many of us a lot of good if we were more self-critical and if we really sat down and asked ourselves why we're doing the things that we're doing. What motivates us? What's our motivation to continue to live? What's our motivation to continue to get out of bed? And these are thoughts that I've pondered a lot through reading, through picking up various books. One more reason is because reading has been linked to better cognitive functioning in old age. And I really want to keep my autonomy as an individual for as long as possible. Some things are inevitable. Disease can happen just because. But if there are ways in which I can potentially prevent something from occurring, it's worth doing. And reading is one of those things that has shown benefits. And so that's also another reason. My very last reason is a very simple one, and it's because I enjoy reading. I think oftentimes we don't think highly enough of pleasure as reason enough for doing anything. Even if everything I said before in this video was not true, just the fact that I enjoy reading and I'm not harming anyone else by reading, that's good enough for me to continue this habit and for me to continue to read. It's important to enjoy and find joy in the things that you're doing. If you're not really learning anything from the books you're picking up, then that's fine, as long as the time that you spend reading is time that you enjoy. So these are my reasons for reading. Let me know if any of these reasons resonated with you, and also share your reasons with me, because I love hearing people speak about reading in general. It's something that brings me a lot of joy, as you could probably tell. And so I'm probably going to continue doing it for a very long time.